My next guest, Senator Pauline Hanson, leader of One Nation Party in Australia. Pauline, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Richard. Anyway, Happy New Year to you and all your listeners.
And to you too. First of all, Senator, any updates on your ban from Parliament?
No, haven't heard anything. I did write to the Prime Minister if he would actually look at overturning the ban, because I think we are recalled early to Parliament for the 19th of January, and that hasn't been confirmed yet. I want to be able to talk about the ban and the hate speech and about the gun issue on the floor of Parliament. Considering that, in many ways, I've been the person that's led this many years, I think having the right to actually speak to is very important and to represent the people that have voted for One Nation.
Do you think it went too far, that Parliament went too far to ban you on that when you were just trying to make a point? Because we've seen some outrageous things over the years, haven't we?
Of course we have. Of course they went too far with it. And for a 7-day ban, sitting days that is, not just 7 days in a week, but it's 7 sitting days. I've got another 4 left that I can't attend the Parliament itself. And, this is the first time in its history it's ever been done. And it's constantly all the time. I just feel on the floor of Parliament. I told the President myself, I said I'm treated totally different to other members in this chamber. I said the bias is there towards myself personally. And, it's frustrating, but I don't regret doing it. And the whole fact was I proved a point is you didn't want to ban the burqa. So I thought if you don't want to ban it, I'll go and wear it. Well, they didn't like that either, so I couldn't win either way.
My text line's going off at the moment. Question from Rob. Are you concerned about Prime Minister Albanese's appointment of Virginia Bell to head the Royal Commission? Do you see that as a conflict of interest, giving a history with the Labor Party?
Look, they'll give jobs to the boys. It comes down to the terms of reference as well. So he may have appointed her, but it will come down to the terms of reference. Of course, they all look after their mates. They all do. So at the end of the day, what will they allow, not allow? It will come down to the terms of reference. So that's my concern. Albanese was taken kicking and screaming about having this Royal Commission. He didn't want it. Excuse me.
You're right.
Excuse me, Richard. He was taken kicking and screaming to have this Royal Commission. But the people wanted it. People want an open book. They want to know what's going on. They want honesty. Albanese promised that when he first elected in 2022, there would be an open book, that they would be honest upfront with the people. He's been anything but. And this is exactly the same. And I just hope that this is not the case. We have to be strict on the terms of reference and just go for it. Open up everything. Let the people know what's been happening.
When you were on the ground after the attack and you went down to Bondi, your thoughts on all of that?
I was really emotional. I was really upset. And, the people were devastated. And you could see it in the faces, hurt and pain. And people were just sort of saying, we just want to live in safety. We fear for our future generations. Now, parents were saying to me, we can't let our kids out anymore. We're terrified the way that our country has gone. And it was like, I don't want that retaliation. I don't want the hate from people. That's not the country that we are.
No.
But let's address it through the right channels, through the government's policies and immigration programs that we have. We can turn it around if we do it in a proper managed way. I don't want people to live in fear. I want people to live in harmony. I want people to assimilate. I want to see migrants come here by all means, but in a managed way. So it's we can do it. But we've got to get rid of this growing hatred that we have, that multiculturalism, Richard, has not worked and doesn't work. It's having all these different cultures, like, under certain cultures, we wouldn't even think about doing that. But under multiculturalism, it's considered and looked at. We are multiracial. But at the end of the day, we must be Australians and respect each other and our laws.
That's because we live in this country. On your letter that you published on your site, you said the terms of reference must include examination of the character of individuals permitted to enter Australia. Do you think Tony Burke has let people down? Because, I was discussing this with my producer this morning. It's not just the character, it's the associations that person has coming into Australia.
Of course it is. And, of course, they've allowed people into the country that would never assimilate. Go to Victoria. Have a look at Victoria. Have a look at most of those people that carry the machetes. Look at their cultural background. They've come from these countries. That's in their DNA. And I'm sorry to say that. It's not in everyone's DNA, but the majority. Victoria is a basket case. People can't, the government and the police can't control it. People living in fear down there. And it's a crying shame. People losing their lives because of this. I'm sorry, there's certain people that I wouldn't allow in the country. And you've got to look at the Islamic fundamentalists that are coming in. That's why I wanted to ban the burqa. The burqa represents a culture and an ideology that wants to control women. If you were to ban that, they'd say, oh, we can't go and live there because we can't cover our women up and we can't treat them the way that we want to treat them. So you're sending a clear message. That's why about 24 countries around the world have banned the burqa. There's a reason why I do these things. And you've got to have a whole look at some of these suburbs that we have out there. They are high on the welfare program. They've actually got, on the NDIS. Have a look at this, which I want to expose. I want Australians to know what the hell is happening in our country. And we've got to turn around. Get rid of the bleeding bloody hearts. I'm over it.
The 24 countries that have banned it, and, I'll use the analogy that's been used before, that I can't walk into a bank, not that you can walk into many banks nowadays, with a motorbike helmet on.
They can't. That's what I hear from people all the time, that they've told to take off their motorbike helmet or the cap that they're wearing or hat or anything like that. They have to take it off. And, people are treated totally different. A woman went into the Lakemba area and she had a shorts and a T-shirt on. She was pulled up by a police officer and said, for your own safety, I suggest that you actually leave here. Why are you here? Like that. So Australians can't go into their own areas for fear of their own safety. This is not the country. And we're just turning a blind eye to it. And Tony Burke, I'm furious with that man, allowing all these people from Gaza to come out here, nearly 3,000 people, whereas it was dominated and dictated to by a terrorist organisation that is just open up the floodgates to allow them into the country. So that's another thing, whereas 75% of the population there supported Hamas. Who were we allowed here? Why did we bring the ISIS brides back into Australia? They knew their fate when, under our laws, they went over there. They should never have been allowed back in. And deals were done with the government. And they said they didn't help them. That's a load of rubbish as far as I'm concerned. They knew damn well that they were going to be coming back in the government, never put a stop to it. So government's got to answer for a lot of things that's happened, and they've kept it secret from the Australian people. And that's what I've been trying to do, is expose. We have a right to know the truth.
We do. Do you think the ASIO powers should be expanded and the agency beefed up now in wake of the Bondi incident? I
think it does. The cabinet, they've kept the ASIO out of their meetings and different things, and I think that they should be given more, powers to deal with this. Sometimes the decisions that the ministers take is not in the national security or interest for the country or the people. And I think that, a lot of these areas, and the whole thing is, there's three main areas around Sydney that is actually dominated by Muslims and the Muslim vote. We've got about 1 million Muslims in the country.
Yep.
So these seats, like Jason Clare's and Tony Burke's, and I forget who the other one is, that's dominated by Muslims, so they require the Muslim vote. Politicians now are looking at what policies, how they're going to react to something purely for the vote, so they get their job back. They've lost interest in what's best for the country. And this is a real shame that's happening. The same thing is that, I'd be strict on, I'd increase the citizenship to about 10 years before you can get your citizenship, apply for it in Australia. Some countries, I would say, no, we don't want people from those countries because of their cultural background and they won't assimilate. I think we've got to be tough on that. People must learn English, must have a proficiency in English before they come here, and I'd get rid of all the government literature in foreign languages, because people then are voting and they don't know what they're voting for. We're not pushing for people to become Australians and learn our culture and our way of life and to assimilate.
Text in from a listener out there, will you be supporting the fishers and hunters?
Well, What do you mean, am I supporting the fishers and hunters?
Can you ask Pauline, who will she preference, Liberal, Labor or Greens? Also ask her, please, will you support fishers and hunters? Are you after tighter gun laws in Australia, as was flagged first?
No. The government, we've got one of the tightest gun laws in Australia, and the whole fact is the government is using this as a deterrent to put the spotlight on the real problem that we have. And that's what makes me mad about this. You know, we're persecuting law-abiding Australians over the gun issue when they had nothing to do with it. You will always have the illegal guns getting into Australia, so don't go after them and put the spotlight on the real problem that we have here, is the people and their cultural and their beliefs and their ideology that we've brought into the nation. No, I'm backing those legal gun owners, whether they want to train for the Olympics or they like their sport or target shooting, or whether they like, the farmers that need their guns. Don't go after them. And that's why I want to speak out about this. And it's not about me, where my preferences are going. You, the voter, own your preferences. You decide where you want to put your preferences. I can only, or a political party can recommend, but I'm putting out a program, not a program. It's an information based, which I've tried to do for years now, to inform people how the voting system works, because I want to empower the people to make the vote work. So it comes back to the people out there. Wake up, understand the voting system, how the preferences work. You control it. You mark the ballot paper. You put your preferences where you want them.
My text line is going overwhelming. I've got to say, you got a lot of support on the text line this morning, Pauline. Barnaby Joyce at the moment. We had a Mark from Hallett Cove. You feel confident that Barnaby Joyce has made the right stuff?
Absolutely fantastic. I've just been talking to Barnaby now, and we've been going through some policies, what we want to do for Australia, call for more accountability, more for Australian investment, jobs, housing, to address that, the cost of housing in Australia. So we've just been going through some policies. Look, it's great working with him. And he's just so thrilled to be on board with One Nation. I don't suppress people. People who want to be in politics, they're for the right reasons, that they want to do what's best for the country. You don't suppress them. And that's what the coalition has done, is they haven't gone after because they're big donors and all the rest of it. My view is, let's find the answers. Let's have vision for the future. Let's get the country moving again. Let's call for accountability. My party, myself, is very open and honest with the people. The people have a right to know. If you can't tell the people, then you're lying to the people. You've got something to hide.
On that recent poll has you on 24% tied with the coalition at the moment. Do you think the coalition's gone off the rails?
My God, I didn't realise that. I'm on 24%. I'm thrilled with that. So I nearly thought
I broke news for you. There you go.
I did. You've told me something. I heard it was 20% in New South Wales. My God, Richard, I've just... it makes me so proud in such a way that I've stuck with this for 30 years to try and do something. I felt I had something to offer the country, but I also knew that I couldn't do it alone. I needed the right people with me. If I don't know anything, then get the people beside me that we can do it as a team. And that's what I have done. And I've got fantastic people, whether it's my staff, whether it's other members of Parliament. We're growing the party, and people are slowly waking up now. They want change. They're fed up with the two major political parties. And the state of this country is one hell of a mess. I believe that we can turn it around. I think we can give back prosperity and a future for the generations coming along after us.
My guest this morning, Senator Pauline Hanson. Pauline, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We reached out, and I really appreciate you coming on, because I had lots of requests for you to come on the show.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I'm going to be down in South Australia, and also tell people that we've got a big announcement coming at the end of the month. And we're really going to put in a big effort for South Australian state elections, because I want people to have their voice back there, and I want people to have confidence in, the One Nation members of Parliament, if we can get elected to Parliament in South Australia, to give you that confidence in your state and, to do a lot for the state.
No worries. Senator Pauline Hanson, thank you again. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Richard. Bye.
Thank you.